What is going on, Notre Dame fans? I'm Tyler Horka. That's Jack Sobel. We are here at the Media Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia, the site of the College Football Playoff National Championship game, which obviously the Fighting Irish are in against the Ohio State Buckeyes. It's Saturday as we're recording this. Long day. We got up early to go to Media Day, talked to some Ohio State people. A lot of Ohio State people. This is the Media Day where literally they give us the entire team. So every single coach was available, every single player for the Buckeyes, followed by the same thing for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That's where obviously we spent most of our time. I don't know if we want to talk about that too much. There's going to be a lot of stories coming out from us from that at blueandgold.com. Already has been, so definitely get there and check those out. We're going to want to talk about practice, though. Yes, we're talking about practice. Jack, we saw about 15 minutes of the Irish on the field at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You were watching the offense. What'd you see?
Number one, Jeremiah Love, no brace, which is a really welcome development. If you recall, Love after the Indiana game said that he didn't wear a brace even though his knee was banged up then because it allows him to play more free. And if Love, who wore a pretty hefty brace on his knee against Penn State, if that wasn't him playing free, I don't think Ohio State wants to know what the alternative is. No, Love's good to go. He told, I think Dylan McCullough told Kyle Kelly earlier today that Love will be, as close to 100% as you can reasonably expect right now. So he's good. As we pretty much knew already, Charles Jagasaw working with the first team at left tackle. He will start there against Ohio State. I talked to Jagasaw earlier today. He had a lot of
energy
in that Penn State game. He really gave the offense a jolt. I love that move to start him at left tackle. I think that's absolutely the correct decision. Rocco Spindler at right guard, working with the first team as well, as we expected. Decent-sized brace on that ankle, wrapped up with a lot of tape. But I think we know Rocco Spindler at this point. He's a tough dude. He's going to gut it out. Other offensive things, Jadarian Price was taking the first team reps at running back and the quarterback running back individual drills, which was the case, I believe, when we saw it practice last time. But Love also started that game, so I think I wouldn't read too much into that. No brace on Bo Collins, parentheses calf. He told me earlier today that he's good to go, so no issues there. I think that's about it. They were working on some offensive line kind of run fits, walking through plays. It was very much a walk-through practice. Not a lot of mental reps, not a lot of physicality, which you'd expect for this time of year. But no, those are the updates. The team is, I would say, about as healthy as you can reasonably expect them to be.
Yeah, if you remember going into this, the only injury designation, it's slipping me now. Who was listed on the injury report when the depth chart came out?
Knapp out ankle, Collins questionable calf, and we know the answer to that question.
Yeah, right? I was thinking of Collins, and you already answered that question. So I think a lot of people were eyes on Rocco Spindler, though, and you answered that question as well. I actually talked to him at Media Day, wrote a story at blueandgold.com. He said he's 100% ready. Does that mean he's 100% healthy? No, nobody is, because like you said, he's got that ankle brace on. There's a lot of people dealing with a lot of different things right now, but all things considered, I agree with you. I mean, for everyone that they've lost, if you minimize and eliminate that from the equation, what they have to work with, they're pretty much operating at full strength. So that goes for the defense, obviously, as well. I watched that. There were T-shirts and shorts, so you couldn't take too much away, but Howard Cross was out there in tennis shoes and no brace, no tape. He was running around, looked good. Xavier Watts I thought it was very interesting. I was watching Xavier Watts, and Notre Dame has played in this stadium before this season, but obviously that was only one time, and that was 3 months ago probably. He was visualizing, and I think the roof was open that day against Georgia Tech. Roof was closed today for practice, will be closed. It's going to be freezing cold in Atlanta. He was kind of looking up at the sight lines, and he was like, all right, if a ball's coming this way, how am I going to see it, perceive it when it comes in? He's a ball hawk. He's got to know what the football is going to look like when it's in the air. I thought that was really interesting. Wasn't a whole lot else to get from the defensive side of things. I think it's really interesting that Marcus Freeman is always in on the linebacker individual drills. He was holding a foam pad today, letting guys run through it. It was very much like you said, walk-through type of feel. They're 48 hours away from playing in the national championship game. It's crossing the T's, dotting the I's, making sure, like Watts was doing, that you feel comfortable out there. A couple other things. Matt Faramo was going through these drills again today, the early enrollee. He's been with the team since the Sugar Bowl, or the lead up to the Sugar Bowl. He looks legit out there, man. He looks like, again, T-shirt, shorts. He's filling out that T-shirt, man. It's pretty impressive. He moves really well. Another guy that I think moves really well, early enrollee, Ethan Long, looks like a prototypical safety build. Like he was very much mirroring Xavier Watts today, and just like, that's a good guy to mirror. He's not going to be able to do that much longer. Xavier Watts is going to hear his name in the NFL draft in a couple of months. Ethan Long moves really well out there. I think he's going to be a player to watch for Notre Dame. Obviously, not Monday night in this national championship game because he cannot play in that. But moving forward, I kind of had my eyes, and I don't know, you just gravitate to that guy. Anything else that we're missing from media day, from practice, kind of some final thoughts from a very, very busy day in Atlanta?
Just one small practice note. Mike Denbrock had his eyes pretty closely on the quarterbacks and running backs. Then when the offensive line and tight ends came together, he moved over there. He wasn't doing much coaching. He was just kind of observing, which I thought was a little interesting, kind of where Denbrock was throughout practice. But no, I mean, not a ton to glean from today's practice. It's just not much else we could learn, honestly. There are 48 hours until the national championship, and they're just kind of making the final preparations.
I saw Denbrock observing that offensive line as well. Obviously, so you're starting a different left tackle. I think that's a big deal because for so long, after the initial rash of injuries at the beginning of the year, it was, okay, this is the same offensive line. This is technically a different offensive line, but I will say it was a different offensive line in that Penn State game out of necessity, and I think the guys held up. So that's what it's about. Like you said, right now it's about holding up. It's about getting through one more game. It's about playing the toughest opponent that you've seen all season. Definitely read about that at blueandgold.com. We've talked about it in a lot of these videos at this YouTube channel as well. So like this video, subscribe to this channel. We'll have some more coverage leading into Monday night's kickoff of the national championship game between Notre Dame and Ohio State.